We're going to talk about the 5 trillion flood today, which will send XRP through the roof. Yes, you heard that right. The world M2 level is going up a lot. 5 trillion new dollars are going to be added to the world economy. You better believe that based on all the examples from the past, this means amazing things for the whole crypto business. There will be a lot more to gain for XRP and other cryptocurrencies that are ready to take advantage of this liquidity and have already proven themselves to be clear market winners. That's the reason I made the video today. I want to make sure that all of you are ready for this in terms of cash and what it will look like in the future. Today I'm going to play you this very important video clip. After that, we'll talk about what this means for your XRP bags. Pay attention. If you want to market like a real bro, you need to know what you're doing. If you have watched any of my films for a while, you know that I always talk about liquidity. Why do assets cost what they do? Liquidity. So we need to keep an eye on your cash flow. This is what I mean. Let me show you. We saw less cash flow in the last quarter of 2024, the year before Trump took office. Before the fourth quarter of 2024, there was less liquidity in the market, which made asset prices go down. Per quarter of 2025, we've seen more money coming in. Now I'm going to use some charts that Michael Howell made. I'm going to put a link to his email below. I signed up for it. I paid for that paper. There's a link to it below if you want to sign up for it. He was on my show. In fact, we'll also put a link to the chat between Michael and I down there. Good job, but we can see that it's 2024 and that the world's cash on hand reached a high point of $145 trillion in September of that year, 175 trillion. From January 1st to the end of 2024, we went from 175, 173 to 172, 171, but liquidity was leaving the system. And you say, but Mark, that was last year. We're talking about the last 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, we'll get back to that. Now we're in 2025 and we started January with 171. Obviously that number carried over to January, 172, 172, 172, 172, 173, 174, 174, 174, 178, 171, 172, 174. It's getting easier to sell things. Now, you're saying, Mark, I don't understand this because you say price is going down when liquidity is going up, but you said liquidity went down last year. I have no idea what's going on. Let me explain it to you. According to Michael Hall, the world has $176 trillion in cash on hand as of last week. That is a win for the good. Worth $5 trillion, which is what the video's title, $5 trillion tsunami, means. Another $5 trillion has been added for the year to date. That's how much more it costs now. There's been about 10 to 12 weeks between those events, which is why you don't see the connection. Since the money was going out in the fourth quarter of last year, we saw its effects in the first quarter of 2025, mostly near the end, because of the delay. All the rush of cash we've seen this year in the first quarter will happen again next quarter, and we can already see it. Here are some charts for you to look at. 2 more charts from Michael Howe are shown below. This one shows the world equity map from June 2021. We'll just put 21 here. This map has been used by me since about this point. Have you been following my channel for a while? If so, you know that I started making videos when everyone thought the world was ending and the markets were at their lowest point in 2022. Check out my channel. I told you that the market wouldn't crash. That's why now is the time to buy. This is why I'm getting new things. And that's because I got this. Once that happened, there wasn't much money in the market, so they went through the roof. And these things tend to move every 4 years. We've had 4 good years of runs. There is no straight line going up and down. It's clear that we've had 4 good years in a row. Let me zoom in and take a closer look. Please look at this. This is what we have now. In the past year, so in 2024, the last quarter of the year saw less cash flow, and the first quarter of this year has seen more. I'm going to zoom in a bit so we can see this. This is the $5 trillion we'll see next quarter. But let's look at this first to see how we can organize this information in other ways. This is the DXY, which stands for Dollar Index. It shows how the dollar compares to other currencies. This goes back to 2019, and we can see that the dollar got stronger until 2020. Then it got weaker, and then it got really strong until 2022. That's when money started to leave the market and asset prices fell. Then when the dollar got lower, there was more money available and the prices of assets went up. Right now, Q1 has been going down, which means that money has been flooding back in. Let's look at Q4 of last year. I'll write that down here. Q4 of last year, draining. Q1 of this year, it's been going down. Taking a look at the price of Bitcoin right now during the same time period, we can see this. That way, we can see that when the dollar measure went down, Bitcoin went down as well. It went down. Based on this graph, we can see that Bitcoin's value went down last quarter as the dollar index got stronger. Bitcoin has changed a lot since then, but we can't really see it here. At that point, I think it's been up 10-12% for about 2 days. Okay, this is also very true for XRP. A huge part of the price of any one asset class is the world M2 supply and liquidity. You all need to remember this. If global liquidity is going up, you just need to wait 10 to 12 weeks, as this guy said, and then that money will start to come back in. When he shows you all these numbers and real-life examples, I love how he makes it clear what that means and how it works with Bitcoin, XRP, and pretty much all of them. But I want to make a very important point. Bitcoin may have gone from 50,000 to 150, which is a nice 2x increase, but XRP went up more than 5x during the same time period, okay? Okay, then, Bitcoin can help you make some money, and I agree that it's a good asset to hold, but XRP can help you make a lot more, and yes, I do think that between a 5x and a 10x is a very real chance in Q3, Q4, and this year. This is because liquidity levels are at an all-time high. And you know, it might go on until 2026 too, as long as market liquidity keeps rising. That being said, it is possible that there will be a huge shortage of cash, and that cash flow will drop dramatically and is going to cause a huge disaster in the markets as well. Still, we need to keep looking at the information we have, and the data tells a very simple but interesting story. It's becoming easier to sell things quickly, so you should get ready for asset prices to go through the roof and make the most of what you have now, because $2 worth of XRP is a great deal. Plus, you don't deserve to be rich if you're not making the most of that. You're complaining right now that the price of XRP hasn't gone through the roof and that you're ignoring the data and not even doing any study. You don't deserve to get rich. As long as you do your homework, look at the facts, and take action, you deserve to get rich. When you do all of those things, guess what? Yes, you're going to make it through this bull run. Because of this, I really want to make sure that none of you miss any chance here, okay? So many chances are out there in the market, which we use every single day. Along with tens of thousands of other people, you can do the same thing by joining my free crypto trade